they felt that it would be a very difficult precedent to follow if we were to embark on a buyout program. Because if we started one, we cannot stop at one, and somebody else is going to ask. And this is the first line that we are constructing. So we've got another second and third line. So if we start with this, we cannot continue. So unfortunately, we had to pass back the bad news to the resident that this is something that we cannot do. But one of the things, the thing was that they also wanted to be compensated individually. They wanted us to look at, putting double glazing in their houses, put barriers, to stop, them looking at the structure in front of their houses and all that. And we said this to the committee, and again, the committee advised us, if we were to compensate individual property owners, then there may be some unequitable compensation that may happen. So we were advised by the Special Compensation Committee, instead of spending money doing that, it's better to put that money, go overboard as far as putting up noise barriers, landscaping, and making sure that the whole area is beautified as much as possible, so that the environment is sort of made pleasing, put it that way. Yeah? And in that way, everybody benefited, and nobody could actually measure, I got more, you got less, so it will become an issue. Huh? So that was what we were advised to do, and that is something that we are pursuing right now. So, in terms of compensation, incentive or whatever, there isn't any. Okay, there isn't any, because what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we put up, state-of-the-art noise barriers, landscaping, and whatever effort that we can put in to minimize the impact of the structure being there will be done. And this is something that we're going. But of course, you can imagine that if you were a resident there, you would not be happy. Because there's a lot of emotion here. Right? So this is something that we have to manage. The emotion management as far as the public is concerned is something that we have to do all along the 51 kilometers. And it's not easy. It's not, because we can't make everybody happy. But the guiding light for us is we have to think of the majority that will benefit from the MRT project. And there will be, I admit, there will be some sacrifices that will have to be made by some members of the public, but this is for the good of the overall public as a whole. And this is something that we have to ensure, because we know in Kuala Lumpur and the Klang Valley, if we don't have this MRT project, traffic congestion is going to get worse. As we've said before, every year we're adding in 500,000 cars on the road, okay? And we cannot continue to build new roads anymore. So to us, if we are going to achieve a developed city status or a developed country status by 2020, these are the improvements that we need to undertake. These are the sort of projects that we need to undertake so that we stay on the right track. Okay, I hope that answers your question.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Could we have the next question, please?
Since the package V3 was award to, so can we know about the land inquiry issue? How is the going on, especially in the TVTI and the one of Tama?
The land
Inquiry issue.
Land acquisition.
Yes.
Yes. On track. As far as the site is concerned, we can actually hand over the required site to the contractor to actually undertake the work. The only area right now that we are managing, and we are close to concluding this, is the area close to One Utama, which we are working with the property developer, and we have actually achieved mutual agreement so that the whole alignment can be done efficiently. So as far as land, I dare say that we don't have a problem, because as you can, if you have seen on the video, during the video display just now, presentation just now, you can see that a significant chunk of the 6-kilometer stretch is actually on the road. So it's on the road reserve. So and then this is in line with what we said before, because the government in the beginning, even before the project started, they said that 70% of the alignment will be on government land and road reserves. And this is what's happening right now. So we try to encroach to a minimum private property. So in short, we don't have an issue as far as V3 is concerned.
Is it the 4-acre land in the one in Tamil, in the private land?
Yes, that's part of the developer of one of Tama's land, yes.
Is it the land required successful on receiving negotiation stage?
We no longer acquire the land. We are going on mutual agreement.
Is it the private developer or agree to sign the mutual agreement?
Yes.
Sorry.
Any other questions? We've only had 2 so far.
So, this is according to the price.
You're from your name and
Asri from MRT TV.
from Bernama, all right.
So there's a related issue on the current cement price hike. So MRT is the main consumer of the cement. So based from the MPAM, Civil Associations, they would suggest MRT to open the international tender to ask the international tender to supply the cement from MRT due to the trend of the increasing price of cement.
I think if you look at building material prices, generally yes, you know, if you look at some of the major items, they are increasing. But what we've done is, you know, we're also conscious of the fact that, you know, there are local producers of cement. And indirectly, because this is a national project, we'd like to support the local suppliers of cement or local producers of cement. But it's not. But that doesn't mean that we're going to pay, you know, the sky for this. I mean, the price of cement is something that we can actually, most of them, we can keep track of them, and we know that we are paying, you know, prevailing market prices for them. In fact, cement was something that we talked about a lot, but we were not very concerned. What we were concerned more about was steel. And because of that, we decided to have a central procurement arrangement as far as steel was concerned. So for steel, what we do is, again, with local producers of steel, we have an e-bidding system. And we basically coordinate between PDP and MRT Corporation. We basically coordinate the procurement of steel on behalf of the works package contractor, so that, you know, the volatility of steel prices is managed and kept in check.
So currently, you don't have any problem with the 6% increase of cement?
Well, as I said, prices increase is something that you need to bear. Everybody is faced with the same problem, and you cannot run away from it. We don't like it, but it's something that we have to accept. You know? Okay.
Are you worried with the surplus of the cost?
Say again.
Are you worried about the surplus of the cost?
We're always worried about the cost. You know, and that is another there's a very popular question. Cost, how much is it going to cost as far as MRT projects concerned? But we are always very conscious as far as cost is concerned. What we also do, for your information, and this is something that we are going to reveal by the end of the year, we also do a lot of benchmarking as far as cost is concerned, so that we are always aware whether we are off track or on track. And benchmarking to us is very, very important. We benchmark performance, we benchmark costs, and to make sure that, you know, the MRT project as a whole is delivered effectively and efficiently. Yeah.
So instead of benchmarking the prices, what would you do to mitigate the cost surplus if it is over your target?
Well, at the moment we don't have a target yet, because the project target cost is going to be determined at the end of the year. So far we don't know whether we are over and under. Okay. Any other question? Yes.
Okay, sure. In terms of alignment, why did this is just a question again, why did the MRT Corp change the alignment from Damansara Utama to PZ near Zabah just now? And because by going to PZ, the track has been abandoned as against straight to Damansara Utama.
I think if you look at, I mean, I don't want to answer your question just by focusing on Pinggir Rabah or Damansara issue. First and foremost, the way the 51 kilometers alignment is determined is by a few parameters. We stay within the parameters that we set, i.e., trying to use government land and road reserves and all that. But certainly, as I said earlier, we cannot avoid sometimes, encroaching on private property. And for those private property that we have encroached, we have compulsory acquired the property. And we paid fair compensation for that. Now, as far as Pinggir Rabah and Damansara area is concerned, again, we're talking about optimization. Now, if the alignment were to move away from this existing alignment along Pinggir Rabah, we will be faced with two key issues. One is the gradient of the elevated structure will be very steep. Okay? And two, we will be affecting more people on the other side as opposed to this side. So it's a toss between two. So, but looking at it from a technical perspective, it will be better for the MRT system to have the shallowest or the flattest gradient, so to speak. And that was a very important element. If the train had a higher gradient, of course, there will be impact of wear and tear and power consumption, which we need to consider. But if you talk about if you want to know more about the technical, why this was decided based on the technical perspective, maybe I'll get my friend on my right here to say a little bit more about it. Okay.
Basically, back to Pinggir Rabah, we've done a few studies on this, whether it's on the right, on the left, we've done a few, and what Dato has said was it's because of the gradient of the areas, and whether we want to impact many more people on the other side or on the left. And that was the best alignment that we could have come up with. And in particular for Pinggir Rabah, I think only about 3 columns that we're gonna put over this section, and that's it. I think that is the best and the minimum that we are touching on these areas. I think that should be clear.
So that you did mention just now, you will announce the target cost by year end. So who's going to announce the target? So do you have any initial target?
You see, the target cost will comprise of the total of all the WPCs that we've awarded. Okay, that forms the target cost. Okay, and as to who will announce, I think the best person to announce it would be the PM. We'll let the PM make that announcement. At the moment, we're working on the numbers right now.
So you have any initial target?
I have, but I would rather not say it. Okay, because let's be very clear. It would be very silly for me not to have an estimate. I do have an estimate, but sometimes when I announce an estimate, it gets carried and communicated in a way that I get a lot of problems in the future. So I'd rather not make that announcement until we are close to being sure as to what that number should be. I've now tried to develop an art of evading this question over the last 9 months, because I've been asked this question so many times, and I try to maneuver and not answer it, because really, I can't give you an answer until we've awarded, because sometimes we estimate a package to be so much, but when we do the tender process, it can be higher or lower, and that difference can be quite significant, especially if you look at the size of the project that we're embarking on. So I'd rather leave that announcement towards the end of the year, if you don't mind. By year. Because in total there are about 85 packages, okay? And we have awarded 37. 20 is waiting to be awarded. So we have knocked down, I think we're almost knocking down 57. So we've got another 28 packages, which are small packages, which can be done very, very quickly. So the major packages have already been more or less executed. Any more questions?
What about the award of the trains?
You are from? Bernama again. What, you got a big team? Sorry, again?
The supply of the rolling stock.
The trains, yeah.
The trains, have you decided which company? Is it a Chinese company or German company which will get the contract for supply of rolling stock trains?
It doesn't matter to us as long as we get the best. We don't really determine whether it's a Chinese company or a German company or a French company. What we do is we have given specification as far as our requirements are concerned, and the party that will ultimately be the supplier of the train will be the party that gives us the best offer that meets our requirement. So it doesn't matter whether it's Chinese, German, or whatever. Yeah.
It's not decided.
Not decided. It's been evaluated, and it still has to go through the process, and we expect the award to happen towards the end of August.
Shafaq from Bernama. On the issue for the BB Plaza, any progress on it?
As far as BB Plaza is concerned, when you say progress, yes, there has been significant progress. What we've done is we've now issued formal notices to the private property owners in Bukit Bintang area, where we were talking about mutual arrangement. Now we're telling them we don't